Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video of Happy Life. Well, here from this video we're starting series on time management, which will be somewhat around 15 to 20 videos. Frankly, I don't know right now how many videos it will be. Well, it will not be some kind of a tips and techniques to manage time. We'll go very deep into everything that should be discussed in any time management session or a program. So it will be quite exhaustive. We'll go into many textbook models or subjects that should be taught in any time management class. So we'll go very deep into things so that the explanation becomes quite clear and understandable to all my audience. And I'm sure after this 15 or 20 videos or whatever number it may be, each and everybody would be rearing to go towards their goal and success and will have a very stress-free life hereafter. So please go through all these videos which I'll be releasing one by one. So in our first video we'll see a simple case study that any of us would be going through every day. There's a person called Suresh. He's working in a manufacturing company in a place called Pune. Those company usually in manufacturing or core industry, they work in shifts. So this week he has first shift. So first shift means from 7 to around 3:30. So he has to reach office at 7 o'clock. So a typical day of him, he has to wake up at 6 o'clock. So he keeps his alarm clock at 6 o'clock to wake up. On Monday morning, his alarm clock buzzes and then he listens to sound, and in a sleepy state, Suresh thinks that okay, if I take just 10 minutes out of this 6 o'clock time, 6 to 7, nothing much is going to happen. So he just presses his alarm clock and snoozes it for another 10 minutes. So at 6:10, again the alarm buzzes. So at 6:10 he thinks, okay, from his morning routine, if I don't exercise for a day for 15 minutes, nothing much is going to happen in his life. So at 6:25 he fixes alarm, and at 6:25 again the alarm buzzes, and at 6:25 he thinks, okay, if I take my breakfast at office instead of taking it at home, still nothing is going to happen. In a sleepy state, he is thinking, half conscious, half unconscious, in a dreamy state. So again at 6:35 the alarm buzzes. So at exactly 6:35 images are getting clear on his head. So if he doesn't wake up at this point, then will be marked absent. In no way he is going to reach his office at 7 o'clock and punch on time. Then he sees that his boss is shouting at him. Some very harsh points are being marked on him, and he thinks his career is going down. So in this kind of anxiety and stress, he just jumps out of his bed and goes to bathroom, finishes off all things within 5 minutes, comes out, wears his cloth, a belt in his hand, puts it in his bag and rushes to his bike, and he rides his bike like he's running for his life, risking every moment on the road. He ignores all the speed breakers, traffic, sometimes very close to accidents. He reaches his office just 10 seconds before the actual time, and perhaps quite luckily punches on time and marked present. So he takes a sigh of relief and thinks that okay, today he made it. But after 1 or 2 minutes he thinks that perhaps it's a new normal for him. He thinks that okay, I can still make it if I wake up a little late and cut short on many other things. This is a typical morning routine for disaster. So when he reaches his office, he takes his breakfast and looks at his table. When he sees his table full of files, papers scattered all over his table, secretly he was taking pride that, oh, I am working so much, so many files, so many papers. So he was so proud that he has been given so many files and papers. He has a lot of work, he's busy. And he goes to his computer, switches it on, and goes through and opens up his mail. He goes through around 25 to 30 emails, unread emails, most of which are birthday wishes, group birthday wishes, some promotional offers, some hi, hello, or some motivational kind of messages, or some good morning messages, or some chain messages that are being sent to each and everybody. So after nearly 40-45 minutes of going through all his mail, he finds out those 5 to 6 emails that are to be done, those tasks, those are given to him for that day, those are to be done on that day. So after 45 minutes, when he finds out that those 5 to 6 work he has to do, he again searches for the relevant files. Those are scattered on his table. He takes around 10 to 15 minutes to find out those files that should be dealt on that day. Then he was into his work for nearly 10 to 15 minutes. He started his work and his boss called up for a review status meeting. Well, usually those review status meeting, his part is around 5 to 6 minutes, where he would be saying what is the status of his work yesterday, or what has been done till that time. It was hardly 5 minutes for him to tell, but inside that meeting hall, meeting room with his boss, many other colleagues, it took nearly 1.5 hours to complete the meeting. So when he's out of meeting, started working in some hurry or urgency to complete the work, or to start the work at least for that day. So again, when he was into his 10 or 15 minutes of work, one of his senior colleagues came into his room and started talking what he couldn't say probably in the meeting, and started to say everything about what should have been done, how inefficient his boss is, how inefficient other colleagues are, all unproductive or politics kind of things in office. He was a senior colleague, he couldn't say him anything, he had to listen to him, although trying to multitask from his work to between his work and talks of his colleague, but still not able to give his 100% to his work. So it went on for a long period of time, and they were almost into their lunch time. A first half total completed, total a first half is over, but still there is no work done for Mr. Suresh. After his lunch, he was very much serious in completing all those works. Right now in his mind, there are something like 5 to 6 works to be done on that day, with only 3 hours left. So just when he was going to start his work, he was again into his 10 or 15th minute, when his another colleague, his very good friend, called him because of a serious issue at his computer or at his site. Something on SAP or some critical software he was using, something very critical at his end, which he is not able to manage. Although it was his third or fourth time, he was being explained for the same work, for the same process again and again by Mr. Suresh. So to maintain relationship, perhaps he has to go again. So since he's a very good friend, he cannot say no. Quite reluctantly, he went to his place and started again explaining what is the process to get those data from SAP. So it was around another 1 hour consumed at his friend's place. So with 2 hours left, in a sense of hurry and urgency, he was able to complete only 3 works of his complete 8.5 hours time of his work day. So again, other 3 works got shifted to next day, to release to next day calendar. So with a sense of dissatisfaction and helplessness, he returned to his home. At exactly 4 o'clock, he reaches his home and freshens up. His kids come at 5 o'clock from school. He takes some tea and rest as well. And at 6, he goes to the market to have some household purchases, and comes back at 7, goes through some newspapers, some TV, and it becomes like 7:30. And at 7:30, he sits with his kids, helping his kids for some homework and some gossip and chatting with his kids. How was their day? How was their school, etc., etc. And at 8 o'clock, he goes out for a walk with his wife and comes back, helps his wife with some daily chores of activities, cleaning dishes and some small help in making or preparing dinner. And at 9 o'clock, he takes his dinner with his family, watching some small TV serials, some lighter moments with his family, and it becomes 10 o'clock. And at 10, again, he has to sleep so that he wakes up at 6 o'clock for office. And at 10, he thinks he would never get any time for his distance MBA that he's pursuing since 2-3 months. He thinks he thinks he's quite helpless to find any time to complete his MBA, which is a very important qualification to get ahead in his career. So at 10 or 10:30, thinking that he sleeps, he feels everything is out of his control with respect to time management. This is just a case study of Mr. Suresh in Pune, but perhaps some part or a little bit of Suresh, or or sometimes much of Suresh, much of the daily routine of Suresh is with us. Same problem perhaps we are facing every day, rushing to office, risking our life on roads, thinking everything is out of control, not able to do what we want. Even if we want, sometimes, even if we try our best to manage time, to give our best possible, performance, or work towards a goal, things doesn't happen. So these are the typical problems that we face in time management. And if it goes daily, over the years, you'll see you become frustrated, you become just some kind of a passive person who has given everything in the hands of God, everything out of control. Nothing can be done by your initiative or what you want to do. So everything just out of control. You're flowing with the life, flowing with the problems of your life, getting hit at every corner. And finally, if it continues for a long period of time, you are not able to get or achieve your goals, what you wanted, you are not satisfied with your life, and over a period of time, you feel insecure financially, health-wise, family-wise, and many areas of your life. So here, it may be a small case study, but it is our life. Most of the people, it's the life of most of the people that we see. So in this following videos, in this video, I'm not going to discuss anything about it. It's just a video to think about yourself and what can you do about it. Unless you start thinking what can be done, you cannot go for the remedy. So so it's a question for you. What can Mr. Suresh, what you could have done if you are in the place of, on the shoes of Suresh, what you could have done? So please comment in this video, perhaps some tips and techniques or some formula I could get from you people also. Well, this videos or this course is open to everybody to have their own ideas and share their own ideas, share their own intelligent ideas, so that it can build up this program or this course. So please do comment. So that's it in this video. Please think over it and comment. If you found this video interesting and useful, please like this, please share this video among your friends at various platforms who could really get some help out of this course. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so to get further videos and many other videos to make your life more productive and happy. So that is it in this video. So till our next video, see you again. Thank you.